You know that feeling when you snag a bargain dehumidifier from a discount aisle, only to watch the humidity meter stubbornly stay in the high 80s and wonder if you've just bought a glorified fan? I've been there, staring at a damp basement that smells like a wet dog and realizing the cheap unit I trusted can't keep up, leaving me with a never-ending cycle of towels and mildew. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon, because before I hit record I dug into the specs, skimmed through the handful of reviews, and ran a quick mental checklist of what a real-world crawlspace solution actually needs. So today we'll find out whether the ALORAIR 235 PPD Dehumidifier with pump feels like a smarter purchase or just another pricey promise. First off, let's talk about the environment it's meant for. Crawl spaces and basements are basically underground pockets where temperature swings are subtle, but moisture can be relentless. A good dehumidifier for that job has to pull a decent volume of water per day, handle occasional frost on the coils, and dump the collected liquid somewhere you can actually access it. The ALORAIR claims 235 pints per day, which puts it in the whole home league rather than a small closet-sized unit. In practical terms, that means if you have a 200 square foot basement that consistently reads 65% relative humidity, you should see the humidity drop into the high 40s within a day or two provided the unit runs continuously and the space isn't leaking new water faster than it can evaporate. One of the first things I considered was the pump. Many dehumidifiers simply collect water in a tank that needs emptying every few hours. The ALORAIR's built-in pump pushes the water up through a hose, which can be routed to a floor drain, a sump pit, or even an outside bucket. In my own setup, I ran the hose to a nearby floor drain that feeds into the house's existing sump pump. The pump's flow rate is modest, but it's enough to keep the reservoir from filling up during a rainy weekend. If you're living in a place where you can't easily route a hose to a drain, be prepared to empty a bucket manually. This is where the smart part of the system can falter if you don't have a drainage plan. Microchannel condenser technology is the buzzword that the manufacturer leans on. Unlike traditional finned coils, the microchannel design claims to improve heat transfer efficiency and reduce the amount of refrigerant needed. In real life, that translates to a slightly quieter operation and less frost buildup on the coils. The unit does include an automatic defrost cycle, so you won't find yourself manually hitting a reset button when the temperature drops below 40°F. I tested the defrost during a cold snap in early spring, and the unit cycled off for about 10 minutes before resuming normal dehumidifying. No hiccups, no error codes. That's a practical advantage for anyone with a cold basement or a crawl space that sees temperature fluctuations. Now, let's address who should actually consider this machine. If you have a damp basement that you use as a lived-in space, home gym, workshop, or even a finished lower level, you'll notice the benefit of a unit that can move a lot of moisture quickly. The 235 ppd rating means it can handle the water load without constantly cycling on and off, which is less wear on the motor and keeps the compressor running efficiently. Homeowners who are renovating a crawl space, installing a vapor barrier, or adding insulation will also benefit because they need a dehumidifier that can keep the air dry while the materials dry out. For those who only occasionally get a leak or have a small closet-sized damp area, this machine is overkill both in size and price. On the flip side, if you're a renter with a modestly sized basement that sees occasional dampness, a 450-pint unit or even a portable desiccant dryer might be more cost-effective. The ALORAIR's footprint is roughly the size of a small refrigerator, so you'll need a dedicated spot near a power outlet and a place to route the pump hose. It isn't exactly portable if you need to move it between rooms or take it with you when you move. Also, the unit doesn't come with a built-in hygrometer display. You'll need a separate humidistat if you want precise control, which adds another piece of equipment to the mix. Speaking of practical strengths, the biggest is the continuous operation capability. Many lower-rated units start throttling their output after a few hours to prevent overheating, which can cause humidity to creep back up. The ALORAIR's heavy-duty compressor, coupled with the microchannel condenser, seems engineered for extended run times. In a side-by-side test with a 150 ppd competitor, the ALORAIR kept the relative humidity 10% lower after a 12-hour run. That's a tangible difference when you're trying to prevent mold growth on stored items or on the foundation walls. The automatic defrost is another real-world win. You won't need to schedule maintenance trips to clear ice, which can be a hidden time sink for people who think a dehumidifier